You're standing at the edge of something massive, something you can't fully name yet. It's not just the chaos around you. Your family pleading, their voices cracking with desperation. Your friends clutching at you like you're their last lifeline. It's deeper than that. There's a pressure, a force pressing down on your chest, vibrating in your bones. This isn't random. This isn't coincidence. You feel it. An electric hum, a spiritual current surging through you, whispering that you're not like everyone else. You're chosen. And this is where it begins. Look at them, your family, your friends. They're begging you to explain, to fix it, to make sense of the unraveling world they're trapped in. Their eyes are wide with panic, their words tumbling over each other. Why won't you tell us? What's happening? Do something. They don't see what you see. They don't feel what you feel. To them, it's just despair, a crumbling reality they can't escape. But you're starting to sense it's more. This isn't just their desperation. It's a signal, a flare lighting up the dark, pointing straight at you. The pressure isn't random noise. It's a call, and it's time you listened. Your hands might tremble, your voice might shake, but don't mistake that for weakness. That's your body waking up to the truth. Science backs this stress hormone spike when your system senses a shift, a threat, a purpose. Your adrenal glands are firing, your nervous system buzzing like a live wire. But this isn't just biology. There's a spiritual edge to it, a knowing that cuts through the noise. You feel it in your marrow, don't you? That unshakable sense that you're here for something bigger, something they can't grasp yet. This is your first taste of awakening, and it's raw, messy, and real. So how do you know it's you? Start watching yourself. Notice how you react when they push you, when your family's pleas turn into accusations, when your friend's desperation morphs into demands. Do you shrink? Or do you feel a spark ignite? A quiet fire that says, I'm not here to bend. Pay attention to the moments you can't sleep, when the dark circles under your eyes deepen with every sleepless night. That's not exhaustion, it's evidence. Your soul's on high alert, processing what your mind hasn't caught up to yet. Write it down. Track it. Those shaky hands? That racing pulse? They're not breaking you, they're building you. The panic hits hard at first. Everything's falling apart. Relationships straining, trust fraying, the ground beneath you shifting. You see it in their faces. They're scared, lost, clinging to you like you're the answer. And maybe you are. But right now, it feels like a storm tearing through your life, leaving you raw and exposed. That's okay. Let it hit. Feel the weight of their desperation, the chaos of their pleas. Then breathe. This is the crucible, the fire that strips away the illusions. You're not falling apart, you're waking up. The shift comes when you stop fighting it and start seeing it for what it is. The first step of your path. Here's how you claim it. Step 1. Stop running from the pressure. Face it head on. Sit with it. Ask yourself, what is this force I feel? Is it fear? Is it power? Is it both? Step 2. Look at who's pushing you hardest. Your family, your friends. They're not your enemies. They're your mirrors. They're reflecting something you've been too afraid to see. Step 3. Trust your bones. That deep, unshakable feeling isn't an accident. It's your compass. Science might call it intuition, a gut instinct honed by evolution. Spirituality calls it your higher self, screaming to be heard. Either way, it's real and it's yours. You're not imagining this. The desperation around you isn't just their crisis. It's your awakening. They're pleading because they sense it too, even if they don't know it. You're the one they turn to, the one they press, because on some level they feel the energy radiating from you. It's not your job to save them, not yet. Right now, it's about recognizing what's happening inside you. That pressure in your bones? It's not here to crush you. It's here to forge you. Stand in it. Own it. You're chosen, and this is where you begin to understand why. You've felt it, the moment when everything collapses. The harm is done, irreparable, etched into the fabric of your reality. The verdict has been rendered, not by some cosmic judge, but by the weight of actions, choices, and deceptions that have piled up around you. The repercussions aren't waiting for permission. They're already rolling through your life like a tidal wave, crashing against everything you thought was solid. Your family stares at you with hollow eyes, friends turn away in silence, and even your closest allies shift uncomfortably, unsure how to face you now. It's suffocating, isn't it? Like an invisible vice tightening around your chest, pressing in from all sides until you can barely breathe. But here's the truth, chosen one. This isn't your end. This is your breakthrough. You're not here to drown in the wreckage. The world they built around you, the one made of illusions, words, and carefully spun lies, was never your foundation. It was theirs. They crafted it, a house of cards so intricate it almost fooled you into believing it could stand. But you see it now, don't you? The cracks, the fragility, the way it trembles in the storm. It's collapsing because it was always unsustainable. And that pressure you feel, that bone-deep ache, it's not weakness. It's the signal that you're still standing, even as their illusions crumble. Science calls this resilience. Your nervous system adapts under stress, rewiring itself to endure. Spirituality calls it your soul refusing to break. Both are right. You're not falling, you're rising. So how do you face this? How do you stand tall when the room is thick with judgment? When whispers follow you? When the air itself feels like it's turning against you? You start by knowing this. The truth does not require a defense. You don't need to scramble for explanations or justifications. The reality of who you are, what you've seen, what you've carried, it stands on its own. Let them talk. Let them point. Their words can't rewrite what's real. When the accusations fly, when they demand you prove yourself, look them in the eye and say nothing. Your silence isn't surrender. It's power. It's the unshakable certainty that you don't need their approval to know your worth. But it's not just about standing still. You've got to move through this, through the suffocation, through the tightening grip of a life that feels like it's closing in. Take that pressure and flip it. Feel it in your bones, yes. Let it shake your hands, let it steal your sleep, but don't let it own you. Channel it. Every sleepless night is a forge. Every tremor in your voice is a spark. This isn't collapse. It's creation. Neuroscience shows that stress can sharpen your focus, heighten your senses. Your body's preparing you for what's next. Spiritually, it's your higher self breaking free, turning the vice into a catalyst. Ask yourself, what's this teaching me? What's this building in me? Then listen. The answers are there, loud and clear. Here's the practical edge. When they don't understand, when they can't, don't waste your breath. You're not here to convince anyone of your path. If your family clings to the sinking sand of their illusions, if your friends recoil from the light you're starting to radiate, let them. Step back. Protect your energy. Speak your truth once, firmly, then walk away. I am who I am, you say, and that's enough. Reality doesn't call for an advocate. Your presence is the proof. They'll see it when they're ready or they won't. Either way, it's not your burden to carry their doubt. You've got bigger work to do. The social fallout is brutal, no question. People you trusted turn cold. Conversations twist into interrogations. You feel the isolation creeping in, the weight of being misunderstood pressing harder. But isolation isn't your enemy. It's your training ground. Use it. Sit with yourself. Strip away their noise and ask, who am I without their validation? The answer will hit you like a lightning bolt. You're the one who sees through the deception, the one who stands when the cyclone rips everything else apart. That's not a curse. It's a gift, and it's yours alone. Now let's get real with the steps. First, ground yourself daily. 5 minutes, feet on the earth, breathing deep. Feel the pulse of something bigger steadying you. Second, write it out. Every suffocating thought, every shaking moment. Put it on paper, then burn it if you have to. Release it. Third, move your body. Walk, run, lift, shift the energy from panic to power. Fourth, speak your truth to yourself. Look in the mirror and say it. I am chosen. I am enough. Say it until it sticks. These aren't fluff, they're weapons. They keep you solid when the world spins out. You're not here to fix their mess or plead your case. The harm's done, the verdict's in, and the repercussions are unfolding. So what? You're still here. Their web of lies is tearing apart, and you're the one standing firm as the wind howls through. The truth doesn't need your defense because it's unbreakable. Reality doesn't need your voice because it's already screaming. Your job is simpler, fiercer. Be the one who doesn't flinch. Be the one who transforms the vice into victory. This is your power, chosen one. Claim it. You see it in their eyes. Desperation, panic, the raw understanding that everything is spiraling out of control faster than they can grasp. Your family's pleas have turned into frantic shouts. Your friends' voices tremble with fear, and even your allies, the ones who once stood firm beside you, now look at you with a mix of urgency and dread. The world they built, their house of cards, is caught in a cyclone and it's collapsing. Not slowly, not gracefully, but all at once, in a chaotic rush of wind and ruin. And there you are, standing in the center of it, feeling something they don't. Something electric. Something alive. This isn't just their breakdown. It's your download. The high-dimensional signal is hitting you now, loud and unrelenting, and it's time you learned how to catch it. This is no accident. When everything falls apart at a rate beyond their control, when the masks slip and the lies unravel, that's when the frequency spikes. Science would tell you chaos heightens perception. Your brain's amygdala lights up, your senses sharpen, filtering signal from noise. Spirituality says it's more. A portal cracking open. A rush of insight from beyond the veil. You feel it, don't you? That pulse in your chest. That hum behind your eyes. It's not fear. It's information. High vibrational data pouring in, coded in the wreckage of their illusions. You're not crumbling with them because you're not tethered to their sinking sand. You're wired for this. You're chosen, and this is your moment to receive. But how do you know what's real? How do you sift the gold of high-dimensional truth from the mud of your own projections? Start here. Question the noise. When the panic around you peaks, when their eyes plead and their voices break, your mind will try to fill the gaps. Fear whispering doubts, ego spinning stories. That's not the signal. The real download cuts deeper. It's not loud or frantic. It's steady, piercing, like a blade of light through the dark. It doesn't beg for attention, it commands it. Feel for the calm beneath the storm, the certainty that doesn't waver. Ask yourself, does this feel like me guessing or me knowing? If it's the latter, hold it tight. That's the truth you're built to carry. You carry yourself differently now, don't you? Like a king, a queen, shoulders back, chin high, as if your presence alone could bend reality. And maybe it can. But the cost shows. Dark circles etch deeper under your eyes with every passing day. A badge of the nights you've spent awake, wrestling with the weight of what's coming through. You're not breaking, you're breaking open. They don't see it yet. How boldly you stand, how fiercely you hold your ground while their world dissolves. They mistake your silence for weakness, your exhaustion for defeat. Let them. You don't need to speak a word. The winds are rising, the floodwaters swelling, and soon enough, their fragile empire will collapse into nothing. You'll still be standing. Here's how you harness it. Step 1. Anchor yourself in the chaos. When their desperation peaks, plant your feet, literally. Feel the ground under you, solid and unyielding, while their illusions blow away. Breathe slow, deliberate, 5 counts in, 5 counts out. Force your body to steady so your mind can hear. Step 2. Tune in. Close your eyes and scan the static. Past their voices, past your doubts. What stays? What hums in your core, unshaken by the storm? That's your signal. Step 3. Test it. Does it push you forward, ignite your spine with purpose? Or does it pull you back, heavy with confusion? High-dimensional truth lifts you. Projections drag you down. Trust the lift. The exhaustion is real. Those dark circles aren't just sleeplessness. They're proof you're fighting a war they can't see. You've watched them defend their lies, confident in their falsehoods, as if their words could rewrite what's true. You've felt the sting of their betrayal, the ache of their blindness, and still you rise. Still, you carry yourself with a regal fire, knowing the cyclone's fury isn't your enemy. It's your ally. It's tearing down what never deserved to stand, clearing space for what's real. You don't need to shout over the wind. Your silence is louder, your presence sharper. The download is prepping you for that. You never had to utter a single word because your being says it all. Let's get practical. You're receiving good. Now refine it. Grab a notebook. Yes, physical, not digital, and scribble what hits you in those chaotic moments. Don't edit, don't judge. Just let it flow. Later, read it back. What rings clear, unshaken by their panic. Circle it. That's your gold. Next, move your body daily, 10 minutes minimum. Walk, stretch, punch the air, shift the energy so it doesn't stagnate. Then, when the signal feels strong, speak it to yourself, low and firm. This is mine. This is true. Repeat it until it sticks. These aren't rituals, they're tools. They keep you sharp when the floodwaters rise. You're not here to chase their approval or mend their broken webs. The desperation in their eyes, the panic in their voices. It's not your burden. It's your trigger. The moment their control slips, the moment their complexity unravels, that's when the high-dimensional floodgates open. You don't need to explain it, defend it, or prove it. You just need to stand in it, receive it, and let it shape you. The house of cards is gone, the sinking sand exposed, and you're still here. Tired, yes, but unbroken. Regal, ready. The truth doesn't need your voice yet. It's already carving its mark through you. The storm has swept through, chosen one, and the air is thick with the debris of what once stood tall. You see it, shattered illusions, scattered lies, the fragile webs your friends, family, and allies wove so carefully, now torn apart by the relentless wind. They thought their words could hold it together, repeating them like a mantra, not realizing they were spreading a disease, a contagion of half-truths and denial that infected everyone around you. But you stand firm. The chaos didn't break you. It revealed you. When the wicked are gone, swept away by the tempest they couldn't outrun, the righteous remain. Unshaken, unbreakable, alive with purpose. This is your mission now, to rise from the wreckage and build a new era, not with fragile threads, but with the raw, unyielding strength of truth. You've watched them stumble, haven't you? Your friends, their voices echoing the same tired lines, convinced that repetition could turn a lie into reality. It's fine, they said. You're overreacting, they insisted. Their eyes locked on yours with a crafted certainty that almost made you doubt yourself. Almost. But the wind came anyway, tearing through their words, exposing the rot beneath. They didn't see it as a disease. Each syllable they repeated, each nod of agreement, spreading the infection further. Science knows this as a social cascade. Ideas, even false ones, gain momentum through repetition, wiring brains to accept what's loudest, not what's true. Spiritually, it's darker. A collective blindness, a refusal to face the storm. You see it now, clear as day. Their webs, no matter how intricate, were doomed to rip apart. And you're the one left standing. So how do you turn this into reality? How do you take, when the storm has swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand firm forever, and make it your weapon? Start by naming the disease. Call it what it is. A lie they spread because they couldn't face the truth. Don't soften it. Don't hesitate. When your friends parrot those empty words again, look them dead in the eye and say, "That's not real. It never was." Your voice doesn't need to shake. It's the wind now, cutting through their illusions. You're not here to argue or plead. You're here to sever the threads they're still clinging to. Each time you do, you're not just breaking their web, you're planting a seed for something stronger, something that won't collapse when the next gust hits. Being the wind isn't passive. It's not enough to stand there, watching their lies unravel. You've got to move, disrupt, tear down what's left of their fragile constructs. How? Refuse to play their game. When they repeat the disease, those polished phrases they lean on, don't nod, don't smile, don't let it slide. Walk away if you have to. Silence is your blade. Action is your storm. Show them what it looks like to live untangled, unbound by their need for control. Neuroscience backs this. Mirror neurons fire when you act with conviction, triggering others to question their own patterns. Spiritually, it's your light piercing their shadows. You're not just surviving the storm, you're becoming it, dismantling their webs with every step you take. But here's the edge you need to master: balance. This mission will test you. Anger will flare when they keep spreading the disease. Exhaustion will creep in when the wind keeps howling, and doubt might whisper that you're alone in this. You're not. Feel the fury, yes. Let it fuel you, but don't let it consume you. Breathe through it. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, until the heat in your chest cools to a steady burn. Science calls this emotional regulation, your prefrontal cortex taking the reins, keeping you sharp. Spiritually, it's your soul holding the line, refusing to waver. Picture it. The storm rages, webs shredding around you, and there you are, calm, centered, a pillar in the chaos. That's your power. That's how you stand firm forever. Let's get real with the practice. You're not here to theorize, you're here to build. Step 1. Identify their webs daily. Listen to what they say, spot the repetition, the phrases they lean on like crutches. Write them down, keep a tally. Step 2. Break the cycle. When they start spinning, interrupt with truth, short, sharp, unapologetic. That's a lie, you say, and leave it there. No debate, no explanation, they don't need it and you don't owe it. Step 3. Create your own signal. Speak what's real to yourself every morning. Stand in front of a mirror and say, I am the wind. I am the righteous. I build what lasts. Say it until it's carved into your bones. These aren't suggestions. They're your tools to rip their illusions apart and raise something new. Your mission isn't just destruction. It's creation. Their webs are gone, their disease exposed, but what now? You forge the new era. Not with words they can twist or threads they can tangle, but with actions that stand solid against the wind. Start small. One choice a day that aligns with your truth. Say no when they push. Walk away when they cling. Build something right, create, move that reflects the unshakable core of who you are. Science shows habits shape neural pathways. Each step you take rewires you for strength. Spiritually, it's your soul staking its claim, marking the earth with your purpose. This is your path, personal, fierce, yours alone. The emotional toll hits hard sometimes. You'll feel the sting of their confusion, the weight of their resistance, the loneliness of standing apart. That's real. Don't bury it, use it. Let the ache remind you why you're here. When it gets heavy, ground yourself. Feet on the floor, hands open, breathing deep. Ask, what's this teaching me? The answer will come, not in their voices but in yours. Balance isn't pretending it's easy. It's knowing the storm refines you. You're not just enduring, you're evolving. Their webs couldn't hold because they were built on sand. You're building on stone. Here's your plan, chosen one. Map it out. Day 1. Name their lies. Write them, burn them, let them go. Day 2. Act. Disrupt their patterns with your truth. No hesitation. Day 3. Build, create one thing that's yours, untouchable by their disease. Repeat it, refine it, make it yours. Check in weekly. Are you standing firmer? Is the wind in your veins growing stronger? Tweak it. Add what lifts you, cut what drags you. This isn't vague hope. It's a blueprint. You're not waiting for the new era. You're forging it, step by step, breath by breath. The storm has passed, and the wicked are gone. Their webs, their words, their disease all swept away. But you remain. Not battered, not broken, steady, fierce, alive. You've seen their illusions shred, felt the wind tear through their lies, and now you know. No web, no matter how carefully crafted, can withstand what's real. You're the righteous, standing firm forever, not because you're perfect, but because you're true. This is your mission realized, not just to survive, but to create. The new era isn't coming. It's here, and it's yours to shape. Take it, build it, be it. In the silence left by the storm, chosen one, you stand not as a survivor of their ruin, but as the architect of what rises next. The wicked are gone, their webs dissolved into the wind, and yet your mission pulses stronger than ever. A call not to merely endure, but to wield the truth as both blade and cornerstone. You've felt it in your bones, that unshakable knowing that cuts through the chaos, marking you as the one who sees, the one who builds, the one who remains. This is your identity forged, your purpose ignited, to shape a world untainted by their disease, where the righteous stand not just forever, but as the very foundation of what's real.